Hiya! Welcome! So this is number one of my new Records Roundup series. Now it's not going to be an awful lot different to the music collecting content that I've been making on this channel for the last, nearly 4 years. I just thought I'd change things up a little bit, make some cosmetic tweaks more than anything, and just try and make my record collecting videos, my music related videos, a bit more sort of uniform and for them to have a bit more continuity. I've got 4 releases to show you today. Anyway, so that's the housekeeping out of the way. Let's get on to the Records Roundup. Oh, just one more thing. Although the series, these music collecting videos now are all under the Records Roundup banner, it won't just be actual vinyl records that I'll be showing. I just wanted a fairly snappy and memorable title. There will be other formats shown. Right then, I think that is all the housekeeping done. Let's get on with a purchase from Bandcamp. Limited to 100 copies this, and then it had another pressing soon after. I think they brought that pressing forward. I'm talking about The City Part 1 by Lost Outrider. This is a Time Slaves Recordings reissue. It was originally on a different synthwave label in 2018, I think. And check out this disc here. It is orange with black splatter, or spatter. This is Andrew WK's studio album, You're Not Alone. Nice big hype sticker there as well. It's got his bloody nose logo there that caused some controversy back in the day. I will get this open actually because I'm curious about these discs. I'll try and get it open anyway. I don't know, there's probably another word for that type of green. I can't think of it. And while his lyrics may not be the most intelligent in the world, you know, banging on about party in every other track, he has released some really strong songs and some really good albums. We do have a mail opening here to do today because this has just come literally minutes before I started filming. This has also come from the Netherlands, funnily enough, but this album is on mini disc and it's Love See No Colour by The Farm. I'm talking about Matt Berry, and this is his, I think, originally 2011 album Witch Hazel. This is the 10th anniversary caramel coloured edition. A lot of people really know him for his work on TV and his comedy and stuff like that, but for me, I'm a fan of his music first and foremost, and yeah, there is humour in his music, but he is a serious artist. It's funny saying that because there's actually a track on here. It's on side B, it's called Rain Come Down, and it said brackets featuring Paul McCartney, but it's Paul McCartney without one of the C's in his surname, and essentially that's just Peter Serafinowicz, the British comedian, doing his rather spot-on impression of the actual Paul McCartney. There's your caramel colour. Yes, that means it's brown. I do like that. I think that looks rather unique. You don't get a lot of brown coloured records. Plus caramel sounds nicer, doesn't it? I decided to treat myself to a couple of albums from an act. I've never owned any albums by them before. I think my ex-wife had one of their CDs back in the day, so I'm going back a few years. But I've always kind of liked them. They're really Marmite, actually. They're the sort of thing, yeah, they really like them or you think they're shit. So judge for yourself as I show you my very first Scooter album in my collection. This is Age of Love. And then we've got the follow-up that I think was about 1998. This is No Time to Chill. But I do remember How Much Is the Fish, and an interesting one on side B, track number 2 on that side, is a cover of Billy Idol's Eyes Without a Face. It came out, I don't know, a few months ago, but it originated on the internet around April Fool's Day last year. I think I heard this by accident. I was searching on the Sound of Vinyl and this came up, and I actually ordered it along with a pre-order for something that's out next month. And then I got an email back not long after saying, sorry, that single's out of stock. And I'd listened to it right before I ordered it on YouTube. I thought, that is brilliant. I'm talking about a cover of Madonna's La Isla Bonita by a group called Large Plants. This might be my favourite single of the year. In fact, I think it is. I do like a good and unique cover version at the best of times. I love the original. I'm a big fan of Madonna, particularly that era. And Laris La Bonita was always one of my favourite singles of hers. And if you think spending nearly £70 on Liebeck's Jesus Christ Superstars was ridiculous, then just wait till I show you this. It's a limited record store day single. It was out in such limited quantities, 1,000 worldwide, I believe. It was about £90 and then a little bit in postage for another Rammstein single, and I'm so made up that I've got this. I did not think that I would be owning this anytime soon unless I got really lucky. But this is their Record Store Day 2014, I think, double A side. Pussy, the Lick It remix by Scooter, and Mind Tile, the You Are What You Eat edit by Pet Shop Boys. This is on white vinyl. You know what? I never do this with records. Every single brand new and sealed record I've owned since I've been collecting again, I've always opened and I've always listened to, but this one, simply because how expensive it was and how limited it actually is, I think I'm going to keep this sealed, at least for now. I may change my mind at a later date and just think, you know what, I've listened to every single record in my collection except this one. Let's just put this one on. Returning the incorrect album was pretty straightforward, and they didn't even wait for them to receive the incorrect one back. But is it the right one? We'll soon find out. And it's not the right one. Again, they've sent me the wrong one twice now. Right, so it's Pink Floyd, Momentary Lapse of Reason. You'll see the information on screen as to what edition this should have been, with the correct sleeve and everything. I'm happy to have this album. It's one that I've been keeping an eye on for a long time. But it's not very good on Coda Records, is it, to get this wrong twice in a row? Supposedly they've got both editions in stock. Obviously the edition that you can see on screen that I wanted was the, what year was it? I know it came out last year, but the remixed and updated version that apparently parts of the album re-recorded. I will let them know. I'll say, look, you know, this is twice now. You know, haven't you got someone in your stock room who's checking things? I'm finding it more amusing than anything. I mean, it was a bit annoying the first time. I might just say, look, I'll keep this, but you need to give me a refund, because the edition I want, the remixed edition, which is 2 discs as well, plays at 45 RPM for enhanced audio quality, apparently. That was more expensive. I did get it on a discount because I used a 20% off code, but Coda are always giving out these codes. I mean, my advice to anyone now is, if you see an album on Coda Records, but there's 2 different versions, be very wary. You know, if I was being really mean, I would say don't use Coda Records anymore because they're bloody incompetent. I'll see what they say about this. It's an album I don't think even charted in the UK. It's their second album by Eurodance Project, which immediately ticks a load of boxes for me. Sacrilege as it might be to some of the more crusty, hardcore vinyl community members, I'm a big fan of cheesy Eurodance and that sort of 1990s techno-y bubblegum dance, maybe. I'm talking about this album here, Slave to the Music by 24/7. Oh, that's nice. So there you are, your crystal clear blue swirly disc. I think this just goes to prove the sort of diversity, really, of the vinyl community. And it's diversity that I think we need. You know, it's all very well that, like, YouTube video makers come on and, like, they're just talking about the latest jazz albums they've picked up and psych and prog rock. And I mean, if you're into all that, great. Certain things I can take or leave, other things I'm really into, and then the 1 or 2 things I'm not into at all. But I do consider my taste fairly eclectic. And being a guy who was born in the early 80s and then grew up as a preteen and a teenager in the 90s, this is the sort of stuff that I was into when I was growing up. Has it aged brilliantly compared to what you can listen to that's released today, 30 odd years later? No, not necessarily, but I like it. But when I saw that this one in particular was up on the side, this was the one that I wanted to begin my Serge Gainsbourg collection with. This is his 1984 album, reissued this year on picture disc, Love on the Beat. Now then, it's a controversial one, this, or at least one track on here is very controversial. The final track on the album is one called Lemon Incest, which I've been familiar with. I've got that track digitally and have had it for many years. It was one Serge recorded with his then 13-year-old daughter, Charlotte Gainsbourg, whose mother was Jane Birkin. I looked up the promo video and I didn't watch it all, but the promo video looks a bit iffy as well. A song about incest, duetted by a middle-aged man and his teenage daughter's a little bit strange, isn't it? And this cover is strange as well, but look at that. A real character, Serge Gainsbourg. It's surprising the amount of stuff of his that I'm actually familiar with, really. I've got a little bit of his work digitally. I've also got the Je T'aime single, an original 1969 pressing. That's been one of my all-time favourite pop singles for almost as long as I can remember. Je T'aime by Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin. If you'll just excuse me while I try and put this broken knife away safely. For those of you who've seen me use this knife for like 4 years now, I have ordered a new box cutter, as this isn't safe anymore because basically this bit's fallen off. I should probably chuck this out soon. I didn't really need it for that anyway. The album, enough of that knife crap, is Rhapsody in Glue by People Like Us and Ergo Phizmiz. I'm a massive People Like Us fan. I have been since the late 90s, early noughties, when I used to listen to her cut up and her sort of weird bastard pop, it used to be called. So I've had some People Like Us records and CDs as well, in some really unusual packaging. We've got a very nicely printed lyric sheet there. I think this is the first time I've ever seen lyrics included in a People Like Us album, and if you listen to People Like Us, you'll know why that's a bit of a weird thing to do. This is lathe cut, which means I need to take extra care of it. It's a nice heavy one, and there we go. That is certainly in the run out, completely transparent there. Great stuff. Nice custom centre labels as well on each side. This, I think, is going to be my favourite pickup of the day, this. I don't even know how I found it on Global Groove, because I don't remember searching for it. Maybe it came up as like a featured thing for sale. This is the Justified Ancients of Mumu, also known as the KLF's Shag Times. Wow. This, like everything in the KLF / the Jam / the Time Lords back catalogue, was deleted pretty much, you know, as soon as they called it quits for the first time in the early 90s. It's a double album. I think it's on coloured vinyl. Marbled white is what it said on Discogs. But let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. Marbled white, really. Yeah, really good quality, this, to say it's arguably a bootleg. This won't be authorised by Jimmy Cauty and Bill Drummond from KLF, but it's a compilation album of all the Jam's early stuff, up to and including when they hit #1 in the UK with Doctor in the TARDIS under the Time Lord's name. And this was £18.50. Yeah, it's not official, but if you want the original, I'm not certain, but unless it's in poor condition, I'm assuming it's going to set you back a lot of money, but I am absolutely made up to the moon and back that I've got this album, Shag Times by the Jams. It looks like it's going to go for a good price. It did, £11 something, and then another £3 in postage, so under £15, which I thought was pretty good for this. You could call it a box set. The album is Brotherhood by New Order. That's New Order's 4th studio album. A lot of New Order fans aren't too keen on it, but I personally have always loved Brotherhood. It's always been way up there for me. All the New Order ones that were issued in this format were colour-coded white, and it's like meant to be this Hessian style box. Now, these haven't really aged particularly well. You can probably see that there's a few marks on it. I think it's very rare to ever find one of these in absolute pristine condition. So with this, you just get the album on cassette. You also get the original artwork in this sort of postcard size insert there. There's your cassette there. Whoever played this last didn't bother rewinding it. I've not listened to it yet. I've heard the album 100 and odd times. If you thought Capella was cheesy, and Alcazar certainly cheesy, but does it get any cornier than Whigfield? This is Whigfield's greatest hits and remixes. I can't remember what inspired me, prompted me to search for Whigfield, but I'm glad I did, because Because I just found this, I love doing that. I love thinking of an artist who I haven't heard in years suddenly coming into my head, and I think, oh, can I get an album of theirs? Like one that's preferably new. Excited to hear Whigfield's greatest hits and remixes. Honestly, I'm not joking either. I love this sort of cheese. This is a particularly not suitable for work edition of Records Roundup. Yes, there's going to be quite a bit of strong language coming up later, so I'm giving you fair warning. So this is The Cunts with the 3-track 7-inch single Boris Johnson is a fucking cunt. There we are. And also this insert as well, which is obviously meant to satirise a British tabloid newspaper. Yes, full of bad language, as you can see. There's even a little cabinet of cunts crossword there. It was a good price, I think $11.99. I think proceeds for this, all proceeds have been split between the Trussell Trust Food Bank charity and the Mind Mental Health charity. But it's only out of 300 this, so not many of these in existence at all. Mine has been hand numbered there, 272, and it's also been signed by the leader of the band himself, Cunt with a K. And I will show you the disc because it's a really nice looking one. It's a white 7-inch disc with kind of pink, red, blue spatter. Well, it's not controversial, it's just sweary single from the KUNTS earlier on about our beloved former Prime Minister, and by beloved I mean I wouldn't piss up his arse if his guts were on fire.
At Volkswagen, we aim to be the most eco-friendly automaker in the world.
Bollocks.
That's why we support key CO2 emission cuts.
Bollocks.
And aim for every car in our range to be green.
Bollocks.
Which is why we're making it even easier for you to buy a Blue Motion.
Bollocks.
We know that climate change will affect all our children.
Bollocks.
And that's why we care.
Bollocks.
Remember, you bought a Volkswagen.
Bollocks.
From London's Hammersmith Odeon, one of the greatest venues for live music over the past 60 years, the British record industry, in association with the Britannia Music Club, presents the Brits 1992. And the KLF.
So this is actually the second studio album by Drummond and Corty from, it will be 1988 I think, burning copies of their first album, 1987, What the Fuck Is Going On a bonfire in Sweden. If you look up KLF Sweden bonfire, and then you'll know why that happened, and they took a photo of it for the sleeve of this album, Who Killed the Jams. So this is a UK pressing. And what I like about this, it's got its original kind of advertising insert here, which shows you all different KLF merchandise and records that you could have bought at the time. That's something that I'm glad came with it, as it may have been lost to the annals of time, it wouldn't have mattered. But I just like sort of little extras that's still there after all these years. A lot of these labels are the same, and for some reason it's always cheaper than the first one, 1987, which you can see burning on the pyre there. This is Who Killed the Jams. This one I think is quite a new release, and it's also coloured vinyl. This, normally these ZYX Greatest Hits and Remixes albums have just been kind of, you know, cheap and cheerful, bog standard black vinyl releases. As you can see, it is also signed by the artist. This is Linda Jo Rizzo's Greatest Hits and Remixes. She is classed as being part of the Italo or Euro disco genre that ZYX specialise in. Apparently she signed a lot of these copies, probably the majority of which were sold through her website. She also signed some that were being sold by other suppliers such as Juno Records. And there you can see we've got her signature there. I didn't know this was going to be signed. I knew it was going to be coloured vinyl. I'm still really enjoying my Italo Disco discovery, mainly thanks to ZYX Records, it has to be said. It's a real sort of bright neon pink here. That's nice. Just a little sort of photo postcard type thing. Linda Jo Rizzo, that's, I don't know if that's properly signed or whether it's printed on. I think it might be properly signed, that, so technically got 2 signatures by her. I want to make special mention of, before I show you the album, because this is actually what I spent some prize money on. I won my first VC contest here on YouTube quite recently. It was the Wild West themed contest that What the Gym was running.
This is the video to reveal the winner of my Wild West contest, which is a push to 500 subscribers. I'm very pleased to announce that I've surpassed my milestone. I choose this one. Right, I've got it, folks. The winner is, drumroll please, the legendary Jimmy Barnes.
Woo!
Well done, Jimmy. Well done.
Well done.
One Jim to another. Congratulations, Jimmy Barnes. Well done.
So many thanks once again, Adam, for running a great contest. Can't believe that I've won my first vinyl community contest win. I won £25, and this is what I bought with it. It was from iMusic in Denmark, a site I've not been using long, but I'm really impressed with already. And it is what is, up until this January anyway, the most recent Cooler Shaker studio album. But if I can memorise it, it's a long one. It's the First Congregational Church of Free Love, brackets, and hugs. I think I've got that right. It should be correct on screen. Theoretically, this might be a fairly prompt one. We'll see. If I'm still standing here waffling after 25 minutes, then I apologise for just talking bollocks. It's Grail time. That led me on to Emigrate, which is the spin-off from Rammstein guitarist Richard Kruspe. I managed to get Emigrate's second, third and fourth albums all on vinyl, and I'd already got them on CD. It did get a vinyl reissue in 2020, but it was an Amazon Germany exclusive, and it's a signed and numbered copy by Richard Kruspe himself. Here it is. I managed to get one off eBay. Self-titled Emigrate album. Actually, I'm quite pleased with the price. It was £135. Yeah, it's a lot, even for something that's signed, and it's actually numbered by him as well. I didn't get a chance to get this. I wouldn't have even thought about it, you know, going on Amazon Germany around, I think, late 2020 when this came out. Only 1,000 of them, as you can see. There was a bit of haggling with me and the eBay seller, but I managed to get £15 off. He wanted £150. Mine is number 362. Oh, bloody hell. You'll see I've actually got 2 albums by this group to show you today. But this one from Lost in Vinyl is the half-speed master of The Who's The Who Sell Out. This has got to be one of my favourite record sleeves of all time. I remember seeing this somewhere when I was a child and being really amused by Roger Daltrey and his giant tin and his bath of beans there. The back's not quite as eye-catching to me. I think that's Keith Moon, isn't it? Or is that Keith Moon? I don't know. One of them's Entwistle and one of them's Moon. I do apologise. There's going to be Who fans now thinking I've committed some sort of cardinal sin by getting those potentially mixed up. Yeah, that is Keith Moon. Sorry, I have to go back to this because they've got the little captions down here, haven't they? I didn't notice these. So there we are. The Who Sell Out. But we stick with The Who. They also wrote on the packing slip saying, "Thanks for your order, James. Enjoy." Another Abbey Road Studios remaster, and this one is coloured vinyl as well. It's Hard.
Ooh, you're hard.
I'm trying to remember the price of this. I'll quickly unfold this for you. Even though if I'd not grabbed it, I probably wouldn't have bothered showing it you, but it's done now. There you go. Certainly 3 of them are looking relatively happy. and Pete Townsend sort of mustering a little bit of a smile. And it's on like a translucent or a transparent orange. All the extras is on yellow. There again, very slightly transparent. I don't know, any Who fans who want to have a chat and correct me and call me an arse for getting stuff wrong all the time about them, please do so in the comments. You'll make me look like a rat.
Why? And you can tell them why. You can say, your dear mama,
Oh no.
your dear mama, who is a pensioner, needs some new radiators. So I'm saving up some money to treat my dear mama to some new radiators. How about that? And they'll all say, oh, what a lovely person he is. Doesn't he just think of his mother?
Well, I'm going to say that if I leave all that in, because that's you just assuming it. Oh.
Assuming what?
Oh, you're making me lose my trail of thought. I need to remember where I was in this. So that's why it's bigger. It looks like there's two things in here, but I only bought one. So I wonder what's going on here. That's why I like doing these mail openings on camera at times, because occasionally you get surprised at what you get. Right, so that's what I know I bought. What's the other thing then? Oh, I've already got that, but okay. Right, so what I paid for and what I thought I was getting just as is on its own is the third studio album from New Order, Low Life, on cassette, and some of you might be familiar with these. I've shown a couple of these on the channel already. What the seller also sent me, and I'm certain that this wasn't included in the listing, but it's in pretty poor nick admittedly, and I do already have it. He also sent me the Brotherhood Hessian cassette set. I'm certain that this wasn't listed, it wasn't like a double purchase. So he probably found this and realised it was a little bit... Well, it's not tatty, it's just got this pen mark on it. That's so odd. There's two exact versions of the cassette as well. So he must have had two of these at some point. Wow, we've been going a while here, haven't we? This was the first, this was like number one in what I wanted. Probably not everyone's most exciting record store day release. In fact, this is the sort of thing I can imagine will be found reduced in websites and record shops for years to come. But because I'm a New Order collector and related, this one was the number one must want for me. And it is a reissue of the Tasty Fish 12-inch single by The Other Two. It's like a taster for a reissue of The Other Two, who are Stephen Morris and Gillian Gilbert, of course, their debut album, The Other Two and You, which is out at the end of this month. I don't think there's anything that's exclusive to... Well, they might, I don't know, there might be one that's exclusive to the 12-inch, but I would have thought even so, I've got these tracks elsewhere anyway. And yeah, it's on quite a translucent, but not totally sort of fully see-through blue vinyl there. That's the 6 of 6 Record Store Day 2024 pickups, along with all the rest of the stuff I've shown you today. Tasty Fish 12-inch single reissue by The Other Two. But the next two are two pickups from another record shop I've been really impressed with lately, Flashback, down in London, but their website is excellent. A lot of stuff on there I'd love to get, and I'm just stopping myself from adding certain bits to my collections here and there. The first one, I was really pleased to see this one, the very first James Bond film, Dr. No, the score for this, and it's a reissue from I think 2018, still got its hype on it. It is, as you can see, red vinyl. I do really like the music in Dr. No as well. It's got that calypso sound to it. Obviously, much of the film is set in Jamaica. There we go, in an iconic white bikini there is of course Ursula Andress. Nice red disc there. I like it a lot. Fantastic film. I mean, it was the one that started it all. At the time, obviously, no one knew exactly how massive, how gigantic and world-encompassing the 007 movie franchise was going to be. At this point, it was just an adaptation of one of Ian Fleming's spy novels. Great soundtrack. Really pleased I've got this particular red vinyl reissue, Dr. No. And the second one from Flashback is, quite appropriately, you've seen the soundtrack for the first Bond film, Now here's the soundtrack for the very last, or the latest Bond film. It won't be the last. But of course I'm talking about No Time to Die, and as this one was the one available at Flashback, and I already had Dr. No in my basket, I thought, yeah, blow it, I will get this one. It's the picture disc, of course, or one of the picture disc variants. This came out in a lot of different variants. I think Martin Harris has got all of them. I'll give you a look at the disc, but we've got Nomi, the new 007 on side A, and on side B we've got the lovely Madeline. I was still saying to myself, no, you're not going down the Bond soundtrack rabbit hole, but yeah, I've gone down it and then some. I'm pleased to have that. No Time to Die, the Nomi and Madeline picture disc version.
Nice sandwich, dear.
Yes, it's lovely. I do love cake. It's just those sandwiches. I need something filthy, you know, like a kebab, but harder.
Dan, you ever heard of pot noodle?
Excuse me, do you do pot noodle? Pot noodle. Pot noodle. Do you do pot noodle?
Round the back in 2 minutes.
That felt so wrong and yet it felt so right.
Pot noodle, the slag of all snacks.
A couple of 12-inch singles from Hard to Find Records in Birmingham. Two of my all-time favourite dance tracks, both of which, no, one of which I definitely used to have on CD single, and the other one I think a friend of mine had it and I borrowed it off her for ages. But now I've got these both on 12-inch. First one is Heaven by U96, German kind of techno Eurodance group. Basically it's kind of like a cover of Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper, but it's not got the same lyrics, but it's the exact same melody. Can't call it strictly a cover version, but it's very, very similar sounding, but that's fine because that's one of my all-time favourite songs. Looking at the old price sticker on there, $1.99, it was more than that. But quick butchers at the vinyl itself. That's Heaven by U96. A promo, but this one is interactive and Forever Young, a cover of Alphaville's Forever Young, albeit without all the verses. It just riffs on the chorus really. Yeah, it's kind of Eurodance leaning into happy hardcore, which I know a lot of people aren't fond of. I am. It's an unashamed pleasure of mine. I'm not even guilty about it, just happy hardcore. It does what it says on the tin for me. I put it on and it makes me feel happy, it actually uplifts me. Same with Eurodance really. I know that's another kind of genre that gets sniffed at, and I understand. We don't all want to listen to prog rock and British heavy metal and psych and whatever else, you know, that the vinyl community absolutely pisses the pants over. You know, people like me, rightly or wrongly in your opinion, we like a lot of our cheese, and there's nothing quite as cheesy as Forever Young by Interactive. Interestingly, it's got a gold sticker for who it used to belong to, someone in Rythorpe, Sunderland. Berry Jasper. Weird. Shouldn't that be Jasper Berry? Maybe, I don't know. And his phone number as well. Shout out to Jasper or Berry if he's watching. I've got your old promo here. Yeah, love this so much. Interactive, Forever Young. This 30th anniversary edition of Definitely Maybe, because, and I don't know how well it's going to come out, but it's oh, what's the term? I've forgotten the term there. Oh, there we go. Now you see him, now you don't. This might not be coming across brilliantly on camera, but I think you can kind of get a basic gist of the effect here. How's that? Ooh, the noise goes through me a little bit. My number, 8,875 out of 15,000. Nice inners. But look at this disc. We've got blue, got yellow, green, white. Really, really pretty, that. 30th anniversary lenticular, that's lenticular sleeve edition. I knew the word had come to me eventually. I'm going to try and keep this brief, but there is a bit of a strange and funny story to tell behind this delivery. I'm recording this kind of late afternoon, getting into early evening. I had a delivery from Royal Mail this morning, and it was in Vanillo packaging, but it wasn't vinyl, obviously. It felt like clothes, and I'm like, well, why are Vanillo sending me clothing? So I opened it, and it was one of their branded sweatshirts and pairs of socks. This was the tracking that was supposed to be for these records, so automatically I assumed they've sent me the wrong things. So I got in touch with them, told them what I'd received. They said, okay, send it us back on Monday, we'll sort out your proper delivery, make sure we get those out to you. But then this afternoon, like what, just over half an hour ago really, Royal Mail second delivery, and another one from Vanillo today. And although it's not the tracking that I expected, it is the albums, or I'm assuming it is. I've not opened it. It'd be funny if after all that I opened this and it's two completely incorrect albums, but I've assumed that the right items are in here. So I emailed Vanillo again right before I started filming, and I said, oh, me again, this is really confusing, but along with the sweater and the socks, there's been a second delivery, and I think the LPs have come as well. Whether they'll want me to send the sweater and socks back still, probably, because I never paid for them. You know, it'd be nice if they let me have them as just kind of compensation for all this confusion. You've waited patiently, I thank you for that. But we can now move on to my Record Store Day pickups, of which there is 5. I think that's the most I've ever got for one Record Store Day, at least at the start. I have picked up Record Store Day releases down the line on discounts, or just because I've suddenly decided I want something, but on the day, and it wasn't on the day, it was the Monday when everything started being sold online. Absolutely mental. I mean, there'll be some people watching this who'll know exactly what I'm referring to, how stressful it was just trying to get websites to work. There was crashes, people getting booted out of queues. The ones that I didn't get, I was shooting for 8, although really it was 7, because there's one that I know I can get cheaper down the line. But the ones I didn't get were the All Things Must Pass Zoetrope by George Harrison, which I'm gutted about, as I really wanted to collect the George Harrison Zoetropes, and I underestimated how popular that'd be, to be honest. With its price, it being up there around the £90 to £100 mark, I didn't figure it'd be massively in demand, but it was. I refused to pay what are still extortionate prices for it on the aftermarket. It's just not fair that flippers can get this and then try and sell it for double, near triple what it's worth. Also, I missed out on Take Cover by Madness, which I was quite disappointed about. Not as much as George Harrison though. And then the other one, the 8th album that I could have actually got, it was available still at many places, but I didn't really want to pay full price for it on the day, was the eponymous House of Love album on orange vinyl, I think. I think I can probably get that maybe on a discount down the line, so maybe look out for that coming up in a future records roundup. So now I can show you what I did get. First one was from Vinyl Tap in Huddersfield. They didn't have much left that I wanted, but they did have Monaco, I Got a Feeling. As far as ranking my Record Store Day wants, simply because this is New Order related, this was up there at number 1 really. It's not going to be anyone else's number 1. It is a limited edition of only 1,000 copies, and I believe that is a worldwide number, not just UK or Europe. I didn't want to wait for this, and then if it had by some miracle been a really sought after title and I'd missed out unless I paid flipper money, then I'd be kicking myself for the rest of my life basically. I get the feeling it's probably a prelude to Music on Vinyl and to reissue their second and to date final album, the self-titled Monaco. It's out on 12-inch green vinyl for the first time. Lovely stuff there from Monaco. Yeah, so there we are, sea blue. Don't know what's up with the light in here today. It's a lovely sunny day, but some of these records are looking a bit dark on camera. Me standing behind it, it's fine. Perhaps I'm not positioning my lighting very well. I know there's some experts out there on YouTube who'll be like, oh well, you need to do this, you need to do that with lighting. I kind of filed them only like 1 or 2 stages above all the analytics crowd, you know, that, oh, well, let's like look at my analytics and announce them and bang on about our numbers every time. And I'm like, you know what, if I was too obsessed with the numbers and how my videos were doing and how my channel were doing, it'd take all the fun out of making videos for me. That's just me, really. If you were into all that sort of thing, fair play, but I'm not. It bores me to tears, to be honest. Anyway, I'm going way off tangent there. Sally Shapiro, My Guilty Pleasure, nice. Quite expensive this, I think about £50, but it is a 4LP set, and I pre-ordered it rather than just wait for it to come into stock like I normally do with Juno, because I just wanted to make sure I'd definitely get this, because for all I knew they might only get 1 of these in stock, and if someone else snapped it up before me, then that's my tough shit, really. But it's the latest Gigi D'Agostino album reissue on vinyl, and this one is, and you heard me butcher some French earlier on, now I'm going to do the same to Italian, Lento, Violento e Altre Storie. There you go, loads of tracks on it. I think you can kind of hear what it is as well as ascertain what it is from the size. Sorry, that's me freaking out a bit because they've wrapped it in like this weird sponge type stuff, and I've got real kind of OCD about certain textures, and this is one of them, so I'm now trying to unwrap this. Ugh, that's horrible. I'm going to chuck that over there and chuck it out later on and handle it as less as I can. So the last thing to show you, it's the first time I've ever bought a cassette from Recycle, and it's this one from an artist called Lady Neptune, New Gorbals Gabber. Very DIY here. In fact, I don't even think there's a clue as to who the artist is on the cassette shell itself. As you know, I've recently upgraded my hi-fi to a lovely vintage system, and when I was testing the cassette deck out, it sounded brilliant, and I'm like, oh, I want to get another cassette, and then I remembered that I had my eye on New Gorbals Gabber for some time, so this is probably not the best cassette to play in my system to demonstrate how good it is, as this sounds kind of noisy and silly, really, but I like things that are noisy and silly. It's happy hardcore, but real sort of indie, low-end kind of stuff, really. That's all you get with the insert as well, nothing on the inside, so you can tell it's just like a handmade proposition, really. If you like what you hear, which I doubt, because I seem to be the only happy hardcore fan in the vinyl community, then you can get this yourself direct from the artist. You may well see another special Oasis video on this channel in, hopefully, about a week's time. And yes, that will be Christmas Day, so I am planning to release an Oasis flavoured Christmas Day video. So please watch it. You know, don't ignore your family, and never mind opening presents or carving the turkey. Jimmy Barnes has got a video out. I need to see it. Obviously, it's YouTube, so you can watch it whenever. You know, you can wait days, weeks, months, really. But I do plan to release a video on the 25th, and it will be Oasis flavoured, and some of you might have an idea what that will be. That's very nice. Just a solid purple there. It's Eurodance, Eurotrance, really, if you want to be even more specific genre-wise. Takes me right back to the late 90s, turn of the millennium, when I hear stuff like this, and you know me. Unlike most of the old duffers here in the vinyl community, no offence, everybody, but I'm someone who is unashamedly a fan of this sort of dance music. It's never going to have any credibility here in the VC on YouTube, but why be the same as everyone else? Happy to have picked that up. Alice DJ, Who Needs Guitars Anyway? Bad album title, but I'm sure I'll love it. Right, so the album is the latest studio album from Cast. Yeah. But look at that. It's liquid vinyl. I've never owned a liquid-filled record before, so of course I've got to get this out and show you. Also, this came with a nice little signed print there, and as you can see, the front of the sleeve has been signed as well. Yeah, it does feel heavier than even maybe a 180 gram disc, but are you ready? I'm so excited to see this. Oh yeah, there we are. Wow. very gimmicky, obviously. Classed as mouthwash effect, I think Cast call it, probably because of the big mouth on the front of the sleeve. Yeah, that's silly, but there's only 100 copies of these as well, and they sold out very quick. I consider myself quite fortunate to have got this. It was a lot more expensive than any of the other editions, I think, including postage. There wasn't much change out of £80, so it's not like I'll be seeking out more similar discs, really, unless it's an artist who I'm particularly fond of and it really catches my eye. Yeah, their new album, can't wait to hear it.